Hi guys, Mike here once again, and today I'll take you to the ultimate guide on optimizing your loadout for maximum efficiency in Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Whether you're carving through hordes of Tyranids or going toe-to-toe with Chaos forces, the right loadout makes all the difference between being a walking tank or a glorified punching bag. And while we all know the thrill of going in guns blazing, the real power is in the strategy of how you kit out your Marine. Let's talk optimization, but don't worry, I'll make sure we keep it casual and fun, just like that first Chainsword kill of the day. If you're as excited as we are about today's topic, show some love by liking and subscribing to Retro Pocket for more amazing content. Choosing your primary weapon, the backbone of your loadout. First things first, your primary weapon is like the foundation of a house, or the peanut butter in a PB&J. It's the one thing you're going to rely on constantly. In Space Marine 2, you've got a selection that makes even the most seasoned orc drool with envy, so let's break it down. The bolter is your classic go-to, and honestly, it's like the comfort food of weapons. It's reliable, does solid damage, and is excellent for those medium-range engagements. But if you're really looking to maximize efficiency, think about what kind of Marine you want to be. Are you a spray and pray kind of player or a precision shooter? If you lean toward the latter, consider swapping out the standard bolter for a stalker bolter. It's basically the sniper rifle of the Emperor's finest, letting you take out enemies before they even get a whiff of your power armor. But let's not forget about the plasma gun. This baby is the king of melting through tough armor like a hot knife through a very heretical stick of butter. It's slower, sure, but if you're facing big bads, looking at you, Chaos Lords, it's a lifesaver. Just be careful with the overheating. Nothing says inefficient like blowing yourself up mid-fight. So, to summarize without summarizing, because that's not how we roll, when optimizing your primary, know your enemy and know your playstyle. Whether you're shredding through hordes or picking off key targets, there's a primary weapon tailored for you. Secondary weapons, the backup plan you didn't know you needed. Now, let's talk secondary weapons. Your secondary is like the dessert of your loadout. Not the main event, but oh so satisfying when used at the right moment. A well-optimized secondary is all about utility and adaptability, because the battlefield in Space Marine 2 is anything but predictable. You could stick with a bolt pistol, no shame in that. It's a solid all-rounder, and when things get up close and personal, it's not too shabby. But if we're talking efficiency here, I'd recommend branching out. The plasma pistol, for instance, is like the Swiss Army knife of secondaries. You've got that sweet mix of mobility, power, and versatility. It's your go-to when you need to burn through armor, but don't have time to charge up your plasma gun. Or if you're the kind of Marine who likes to get up close and real personal, the Melt-A-Gun is your ticket to one-shotting enemies who thought they had the upper hand. Just imagine the look on a Chaos Space Marine's face when you melt him into a puddle of goo in one shot. Chef's kiss, my friend. But keep in mind that Meltas are situational. You want to use them when you're sure the enemy is within range, or else you'll find yourself firing into the wind while Tyranids laugh at your inefficiency. So, how do you pick? The rule of thumb, think about your primary and complement it. Don't double up on the same type of damage unless you've got a very specific reason, like a horde of Tyranid warriors. Variety is the spice of life and of loadouts. Melee weapons, when in doubt, get stabby. No Space Marine loadout optimization is complete without a discussion on melee weapons. These are the cherry on top of your war-hardened sundae. Because sometimes, despite all your guns, there's nothing more satisfying than slicing through your enemies like butter with a chainsword. Chainswords are the bread and butter for most Space Marines. They're fast, brutal, and effective. If you're focusing on crowd control, this is your weapon of choice. There's something almost meditative about slicing through a horde of Hormagaunts like you're mowing the lawn on a Sunday afternoon. But if you want to crank things up a notch, the Power Sword is where it's at. It's the perfect mix of speed and armor-shredding power. You'll cut through tougher enemies like Chaos Marines or Tyranid warriors without breaking a sweat. Just remember, Power Swords don't have the same visceral crowd control factor as a chainsword, but they'll make quick work of heavily armored foes. Then there's the Thunderhammer, a glorious weapon that screams, "I am the Emperor's wrath." But with great power comes slow, cumbersome swings. You're trading speed for devastation here, so only go for this if you're willing to time your strikes perfectly. If you're the kind of player who thrives on precision and heavy-hitting damage, this one's for you. Optimizing melee is about balancing speed versus power. If you're facing hordes, go fast. If you're in a boss fight or up against tough enemies, go big. Armor upgrades, because what's the point of all those weapons if you're dead? Let's not forget your armor upgrades. The best offense is a good defense, right? Unless you're facing Tyranids, in which case, you need both. In Space Marine 2, your armor upgrades can be the difference between barely surviving and thriving on the battlefield. Focus on upgrading your shields and health regeneration, especially if you tend to throw yourself into the thick of combat. No judgment, we've all been there. If you're the type who plays aggressively, you'll want to prioritize shield regeneration first. It lets you get back into the fight faster and ensures that you're not always scrambling for cover. There's nothing more inefficient than waiting around to heal while your teammates are racking up kills. Another key upgrade is mobility. There's no shame in admitting that being able to dodge and weave can save your life more times than a full health bar will. Jump packs, increased sprint speed, or dodging abilities can help you evade danger, reposition on the battlefield, and even set yourself up for a glorious Thunderhammer smash to the face. But hey, if you're more the tanky type, go full fortress mode, load up on health upgrades and resistances. You'll be a walking tank, and while you may not be the fastest guy in the room, you'll be the last one standing. The art of synergy, making your loadout sing. Now, let's talk synergy, because optimizing a loadout isn't just about having the biggest guns or the shiniest armor. It's about how everything works together. You want your weapons, abilities, and armor to complement each other like a fine-tuned machine. When your gear is in sync, you're not just efficient, you're deadly. Think of it like this. If your primary weapon is a bolter and your secondary is a plasma pistol, you've got a balanced mix of range and power. Add in a chainsword for when things get up close and personal and you're ready for most situations. But if you're going heavy with a plasma gun and a power sword, then you're leaning into big hits and calculated strikes. Perfect for when you're facing stronger enemies, but maybe not ideal for huge hordes. The key is to plan ahead. Know the mission, know your enemy, and then tailor your loadout to suit it. Flexibility is key. Just like in real life, if you don't adapt, you're toast and not the good kind. So there you have it. In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, there is only war, and your loadout is your best chance of surviving it. Whether you're holding the line against swarms of Tyranids or covering your squad with that trusty iron halo, optimizing your loadout for maximum efficiency is key to coming out on top. By mastering your weapons, managing your ammo, and using your gear and perks to your advantage, you'll be an unstoppable force on the battlefield. So go forth, brothers, and bring the Emperor's wrath down upon your enemies. Just remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips, tricks, and Warhammer 40K goodness.